Hello, today we are going to cover a topic called conditionals. First, we are going to work with real conditionals, so conditional 0 and conditional first. After this video, you are going to watch our main topic, the most important topic for today, that is the second conditional or conditional number 2. Remember, this class is to levels CEL009 and LC007 on Tuesdays at night. And remember, my name is Nilton Miranda. Let's start. In this unit and in this week, I want you to practice conditionals and also vocabulary about roles and personalities. As you could see at the beginning of this lesson, on the first video, there was a video about personalities, type of personalities, and also some questions. Here at the end, in the second video, you are going to watch also some vocabulary related with roles and personalities. I want also you to practice present and future imaginary situations using the second conditional, and also talk about wishes. What you wish. For example, I wish we could go to ITSA to work. Let's start with real conditionals. What are real conditionals? Real conditionals are those 0 and first conditionals. Why? Because we need conditional sentence to talk about the expected results of a specific action. When we use real conditionals, we are talking about real possibilities. In real conditionals, we have sentences with two parts. If clause, that is the situation, for example, if it rains, if I see him, those situations are always in simple present. And a main clause, that is the result. And this section is different. In zero conditional, the result is in simple present. But in first conditional, the result is in future with will, like in the second example. If I see him, I will or I'll give him the message. The if clause, remember, describes the situation, and the main clause describes the result of that situation. But let's start with the zero conditional review. And remember, this is a review because it's supposed you covered this topic in a previous module. Okay? But let's start. What is the zero conditional? The zero conditional is that one that we use to state rules. For example, if I run a lot, I feel tired. That's a real cause and consequence, or cause and effect. So both sentences are in present simple. I use the zero conditional to say what is 100% sure or real. We can also use zero conditional in negative sentences. For example, if I don't run a lot, I don't feel tired. The zero conditional is called the present real conditional. We can use sentences with if plus present simple in the clause situation to talk about the situations and facts that are always or generally true. The verb in the main clause, that is the result, is also in present. In this type of conditionals, remember, only in zero conditional I can use if and when as the same. For example, I'm going to change the first example. I could say when, not if. When I run a lot, I feel tired, and has the same meaning of the example on the image. Let's practice a little. Remember, the idea is to take those examples or those verbs in brackets or parentheses and to write them on the blanks in simple present. But remember, in simple present, we need to add the s when the subject is he, she, or it. Look at this example. If I, the verb is visit, if I visit a new city, I always take a guidebook and a map. I can also say or describe these exercises or these conditionals in a different way. For example, I can take the main clause at the beginning and the if clause at the end. Look at this. It's the same example, but it's backwards. So she always takes a guidebook and a map if she visits a new city. There is something that you must notice in this example. First, if the if clause is at the beginning of the sentence, you need a comma. You need a comma at the end of the if clause. But if not, if you have the if clause at the end of the sentence, like in the example number 2, you don't need the comma. It's not necessary because the if works as a linking word, as a connector. So you don't need the comma. Let's practice a little. Look at this example. If he, I need here the present simple of the verb to be, alone, he, and this is gonna be negative, around at night. So the answer is, if he is alone, is this the third form for the third person. He is alone, comma, he, and the negative form for walk, remember, we need the auxiliary. So doesn't because it's the third person. So he doesn't walk around at night. Let's try another one. Here the subject is they and they, so simple present, normal simple present. So the answer is, they usually ask for recommendations if they don't know where to eat. In these examples, I tried to cover also negative sentences. Remember, when we have negative sentences in zero conditional that is present, we need the auxiliary don't or doesn't. And remember, doesn't only for he, she, and it. We use don't, like in the last example, in all the others subject with the other subjects, like I, you, we, and they. When you have an affirmative sentence, you only need the verb, the base form, like ask or walk. But remember, in third person, when you are talking about he or she, you need to add the s at the end of the verb. So ask, asks, walk, walks, and etc. Now, the first conditional is really similar to the zero conditional, but we use the first conditional to talk about possibilities. So the zero conditional is for things that are always true, but the first conditional opens a window to a possibility. It could be 80-70% sure, but it's not completely sure. For example, if I run a lot, I will feel tired in the future. And that's a possibility. It's probable that I feel or not tired. That's why I use the first conditional. This is called the possible conditional because it describes possible things which could easily come true. In the first conditional, we use sentences with if in the clause plus present in the if clause or situation, as in zero conditional, to talk about the situations in the future. And we usually use will in the main clause in the result to talk about the possible result. And remember, it's very similar. The difference with the zero conditional is that in the main clause in the result, I am going to use will or won't if the sentence is negative. Let's practice a little. This is first conditional. As you can see in the example, I will pass the exams if I study. This sentence have the if clause at the end. So I could say if I study, the condition, and the result is I will pass the exams. Let's start with this new example. Sharon, as it this example or this sentence doesn't have if, I imagine this is the result. What is the if condition? If she earn, ganar, earn a lot of money. So the result is Sharon will fly, that is the possible result. Sharon will fly to New York if she earns a lot of money. And remember, earns with the S because it's third person. You are talking about her. Another example. If he, simple present, he, future with will. So, if he has a temperature, he will see the doctor. Condition, if he has a temperature. Result, he will see the doctor. Remember, condition, simple present, result, future with will. If my friends, and this is gonna be negative, and this the if clause, it's in present, and the result, I, very happy, future with will. So, if my friends don't come, because it's a negative sentence, if my friends don't come, I won't be very happy. Won't, because won't is the will in negative form. I won't be very happy. Okay, now it's your turn. Watch the video again if you need it and try to complete the following questions.